Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the nichebot live call-in show. This is the show where you get the intervention you need to blow right past those obstacles that stand in your way. I am your host, Jim Morris, and I want to welcome you to the show. And real quickly, why I created the Gold and Platinum, this show for the Gold and Platinum users, and that is real quickly, it's to get some immediate help to blow past those obstacles and have breakthroughs now. But it's also because a lot of people just blow right past that quick start guide. And the content here is customized towards you every week. So it answers the questions you need. And also, like I said before, it's about having clarity and breakthroughs. I was stuck myself for 4 years until I got my own breakthrough. And it shouldn't have taken that long. And I don't want it to take that long for you either. The other thing is, breakthroughs come with repeated exposure to techniques that work. And what I mean by that is when you have a trusted person that will give you the answers you need for techniques that work today and get results, it's not going to get you results right away. So you have to do it sometimes 10, 15, 20 times for it to finally work for you. It's easy when an expert's doing it, but when you're doing it, it does take making some distinctions, and that only happens when you do it over and over a few times. And that's the important part, is you're going to have some perseverance here. And there is going to be a replay of this show over in the live show directory. You can find that right within your members dashboard when you log in. And real quickly, my epiphany came back in 2004 when I realized the power of backlinks, and that is getting a link to your site from an outside a source outside your own website, because it's a signal to Google that your website is popular on a particular topic or keyword. And it's really important to use that keyword phrase in your hyperlink that's outside. Obviously, you're going to have to control that, that anchor text, as we call it, which is that keyword phrase that is highlighted as the hyperlink. And you can control it. Otherwise, when some people just do make references to you, sometimes they don't use the right keywords that you want to be ranked for. So there are ways for you to control it, and that's through getting backlinks to your site, writing articles, distributing content, that so on and so forth. Now, nichebot used reciprocal linking at first back in 2004, which was popular, 2004, 2005. To get backlinks to nichebot and other sites that we operate. But you should find whatever style of inbound links suits you best. There are different ways to do it. Forum posting, blog commenting, article marketing, distributing software, which you can distribute software even if you're not a software distributor. But there's a number of different ways. So getting inbound links real quickly always is going to trump content on your page, because you can only get so many points for optimizing your content on your page. Once you're maxed out, in order to break that ceiling that you're up against, you have to get backlinks. That's where backlinks come in. And if you're at a loss for what I'm talking about with what backlinking is or getting backlinks, just type link building strategies 2011 or 2012 or 2013 into Google for additional ways, depending on what year you're listening to this recording. And as you can hear, I've got a guest here in the background, and this show is about getting clarity and breakthroughs. And while we are going to be taking some questions, perhaps towards the end of the show, we're going to be talking about, we have a special guest here, and we're going to be doing basically a live case study. And I believe wholeheartedly that it is only through showing real live examples and doing an analytical breakdown of what's going on with somebody else's site do we actually make distinctions that we can apply to our own website. the best way to learn. Rather than just sitting there and talking about theory, I think it's best to do it in action. So you could get, I think it's really important to get inside the thinking behind why some decisions are made with a website. And all right, so we've got Zach here in the studio with us, and we're back doing session 4. Wow.
Session 4, yeah.
We're moving along.
We are. And my God, it's fascinating.
And yeah, so we're getting pretty knee deep in here. Mm-hmm. And in fact, from what you were telling me, you're kind of, with all the new tools that I kind of turned you on to, you're kind of, it's actually even organizing your life, like you said.
Actually, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been amazing. I've been able to organize everything now.
So we're going to real quickly review, because I know you're time limited right now, so we're going to review. We're going to review session 3 and what we had you do. Mm-hmm. Because we want to move forward as fast as possible, and I'm sure you do too.
I do. Yeah,
all right.
I'm ready.
So money back guarantee, you thought about that?
I decided on the 30-day mark.
Okay,
just
that's
because
fine.
It's music.
Exactly.
You know, yeah.
Exactly.
Like a couple listens, and you should know if you like the song.
Exactly.
That was my thought, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I want you to realize, okay, the longer you go, mm-hmm. you think most people would, you know, you'll get more on 90 days, but the longer you go out, the
less likely?
The more likely they forget about it.
Oh. Well, then I'm
See,
going
because
90 days.
Here's the thing, is when you've got a 30-day, you kind of have the feeling of you got to listen to it.
Okay.
Whereas 90 days, it kind of puts it off into the distance.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that way it's like, I'll get to that next month, you know?
Right, yeah.
Whatever. But you know what? I mean, this is the thing, is they want, the parents are going to want to get it to their kids.
Right.
The music, right? Okay, so you don't have to decide on that right away.
Okay.
Because as we talked about today, we're going to talk about the copy. Mm-hmm. And we're going to show everyone else kind of what we've done over the past week,
right?
As for this new site that we put together and the theme you picked out, because that was actually, we kind of talked about CD Baby, and the fact that they kind of keep all the information. You don't have access to your customers, your email and stuff like that.
Basically, so keep in touch with the fan base.
Exactly. Yeah. So you may have some decisions to make around that.
Right.
And this was, you know, obviously number 2 was to find out if there's a direct link to the shopping cart, and there probably isn't yet. Yeah. Anyways, because like I was saying, you know, you want to control the page where the person lands, because whenever there's other things on the page that they can always click away from the page, and you want to remove as much of that stuff, you know, where the only decision should be contact live help or hit the buy button. You know, fill out the page, the order page, and get to the payment page. That's the most important thing. I mean, because hey, consummate the sale. Let's do it. Yeah. It's not about last minute, go check out another link. Right. Because before you know it, someone comes in, interrupts that person, they forget where they were, and they never buy. Right. And that's the whole thing. And it's really, you're doing a disservice to your prospect who doesn't buy. Right. Because they're not getting the value out of your product. Yeah. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then 3 was to pick a template, which we did. We're going to go through that. And
crafty.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was doing a byline.
Right, which I did, and I forget it off the top of my head, but it went along the lines of musical stew, children's educational entertainment for life changes. Or
I like
for
that.
Life's challenges.
There you go. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But but you see, someone can understand exactly what is happening at your site through that byline.
Right.
They don't have to read another word.
Right. Well,
they know what's going on.
And I thought about, well, what is it with my daughter? Why do I have her listen to this music? Oh, because there's a obstacle or a challenge in front of her, and this helps her get over it.
Right, and you realize what you just did too. in order to get there, you ask yourself a question.
Yeah.
And that's usually sometimes, you know, you can find out other people's motives by going, why would they do this? Or how are they going to feel about their kid wanting to blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you already have that as you have the experience of having a child.
Mm-hmm.
So you can answer that, and that's probably going to have some overlap with others.
Yeah, I
know?
think so. I noticed that a lot of parents have we all have stuff in common.
Right. And just for everyone on the line, so just in case you see the site, I kind of put my own byline in there for the site.
Oh, right.
Okay. And then you went through Google to typing in some search terms to locate about 25 competitors.
Yes, I did.
And you did that? And
I did that. Bookmarked them all.
Gotcha.
It was interesting.
You bookmarked them how, though?
Well, I didn't use. I used the reader for the Google Reader for the blogs, but then I just did a bookmark for all the sites.
Okay.
So that I could,
I was waiting for you to say Digo. Digo.
Oh man! Digo.
Remember Digo?
Oh, I forgot Digo.
Right.
That's
right. So if you
talk to you about that.
Oh, okay. You forgot about that one?
I forgot about it. God, it's so much information.
Oh, okay.
No, which is great. I should have checked in with you though.
Well, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing is you got to make sure to ask the question. That's why, a lot of people who come to nichebot stay in silence rather than ask the question. And that's why I created this show.
Okay, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to ask the question. Don't sit there, because if you see here, right in
there.
Chrome,
yeah,
exactly. I can highlight and bookmark, and see that's what you robbed yourself of while you see there.
Right, yeah. Well, you know what? I got as far as the Chrome, and I got so fascinated with the Chrome, and okay.
You got all chromed out. You got all chromed out.
Yes.
Okay.
Digo will be downloaded tonight.
Great. And you learned a little bit about your space.
Yeah, it was very interesting. You know that there are certain competitors out there, but to get in and really get specific with it, there was no one out there that I found that was, high up on Google search lists and stuff like that, with these main keywords that I want to eventually use to attract people to my site, that were in kind of the same genre, I guess, of children's music that we're doing.
Okay.
It a lot of it was very like sort of Barney-ish, or like the Magic Movers, which the Imaginary Movers. Like, all these people are very good, and they have a certain niche, but I think we're kind of doing what Disney did. We're making an adult song for kids,
Gotcha.
So it's like we as parents I find myself singing along. That's why I got so fascinated, is I found myself as a parent singing along to it.
Right. Well, one of the and this is just something I just want to throw out there. It's not really all that important as far as what we're talking about or anything, but what the interesting thing was hang on just a second. I'm trying to move this down so I can close out that. Okay. As you were talking about the fact that, you identified the fact that you are creating these adult songs for kids so that the parents can also, get in there.
Right.
And if you think about it, if you go, you've watched SpongeBob SquarePants, right?
Yeah, totally.
And there's many adult type
absolutely.
References in there where the jokes you're going to get, the child may not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the kids love it.
Absolutely. And so, it was interesting, because what I found is there are but there are a few TV shows, like cartoons, that sort of relate to what we're doing with the music.
Right.
Like Phineas and Ferb and SpongeBob, SquarePants and stuff like that, where adults are sitting there going, oh my God, those are always like our fail-safes when we don't want to listen to Power Rangers or... Power Rangers, or
Mighty Morphin,
or Barney, or any of those others where you just want to
It's sort of mind numbing.
It is mind numbing. It's totally
How does my child stand this?
Yeah, but I want the whole family to join in. I think is where
Well, but and we talked about sort of like the importance of
family.
touching on the bonding,
Right.
between
and I think that's
parents or just one parent with the child.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Sort of like this is like spending quality time.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we talked about the fact, we talked earlier before we got on about the fact that we're going to be chatting about copy, and I didn't want to touch too much on it, but we talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Now you want to make sure to lock in what you just said. That is so key important, because it's going to distinguish you from that whole genre of this is just kid stuff.
Right.
Where this is... And you can touch on the fact in the copy about the fact that this is listened together with your child.
Right.
So you can enhance. This is great for bonding, that sort of thing. Now you're all of a sudden giving extra motivation for that parent to go, man, this is perfect. I want this for my child.
Yeah.
Because not only can he or she listen to this on their own, but we can do it together and discuss it.
Right.
Because really, I mean, if you think about it, this is almost like therapy, kind of in a way.
I would, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And that's mainly where a lot of things get worked out in communication with us as adults.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens with kids. A lot of kids, they just have the wrong sort of philosophy, or they've connected one thing to another that causes them to do what they're doing now.
Right.
And if they disconnect that, and understand and get more clear on the topic, it just clears it up.
Yeah.
And it clears up the behavior that they've been doing.
Because that's what it is, they don't have the map yet, and I think that it's kind of interesting because, just to touch on what you were saying real quick, the Musical Stew's Time Out song, it gave me, as a parent, a different perspective on timeouts.
Right.
Because I was like, oh, it's just a break, like all of us need in the workspace or in the world as adults.
Right.
So, when we're trying to get our kids ready to go out into that adult world, the song is just saying like, hey, everybody needs some time to just think. So if you're upset and you're starting to misbehave to get attention, maybe you just need a timeout so you can just think about things and then have a clearer understanding.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very much an advocate on timeouts.
Yeah.
Even now, today, especially with a mate.
Yeah.
You know what? We're not in a good place. If we continue this, it's going to go further and further. Let's take a timeout right now.
Oh, and I love this because it's giving me so many ideas. Like, imagine that being taught at 5.
Right, and how much
having that tool?
How much
already,
healthier? Yeah, and how much
before you've had your first girlfriend or boyfriend.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And there's the student like interacting with the teacher at 9. I really think, we need to take a time out right now before I start having an emotional reaction.
Okay. Sit at my desk and write.
Exactly. Okay, so then you went and you did the Google blog search. Did you do that as well?
Which was great. I found more.
Mommy blogs?
I found more of the world what was encouraging is I found more of the world that I think that Musical Stew needs to tap into through the blogs.
Right.
So as far as competitors, I didn't really, except for there's this one group, They Might Be Giants, which they don't necessarily do educational music, but they do really good, like, rock out, music that's actually very entertaining. But it doesn't, I didn't notice anything that really hit an educational front. There were a few in there. But, so what was encouraging about it is I feel like tapping into these blogs is going to be a very, very helpful resource for our group.
Right, and we talked about the fact, and we're not getting yet into building traffic, but remember, these are all areas, these blogs are all areas where you can begin a conversation, talk about these critical issues that are being discussed on the blogs, and they literally become siphons and channels for traffic diverted to your site.
To my site, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And so at first, to be honest, I went on and I found which blogs had the most subscribers. And, of course, I clicked into those.
Right.
And then, which, of course, most of those were at the top or, kind of in there. And then I started to kind of look at the newer ones and see what subject matter they were dealing with. And then I clicked on those,
Right.
And, so it was really, and I put them in my Google Reader.
Right.
So I got that. I didn't do the Digo,
Right.
but I got the Google Reader.
Right.
So yeah.
The importance of the Digo is not just the highlighting, but the
Right.
fact that you're going to be able to access your research from any computer.
Right.
Whereas your bookmarks are only limited to your computer right now.
Right.
Unless, well, actually no, in a way, because if you use Chrome somewhere else, you can log into Chrome and it'll tap you into those bookmarks.
Oh, will. See, I didn't know
It
that.
will.
Okay, well, that's
It will. But I think that was the air conditioning that went off, and that's why the door sounded like it was closed.
Yeah. Nobody's breaking in.
It's not haunted here, I promise. Anyways, okay. So ultimately, I really want to ask you. So obviously, number 7, you put their feeds into Google Reader.
Yeah.
So now, what's interesting with that? Before I want to ask you one other really important question, which is what you kind of gained the insight from. Mm-hmm. But what's really cool is now, whenever you go check your Google Reader, you don't have to check up on these sites anymore. You won't have to go to their site.
I don't.
And you don't have to go back there to see, oh, did they write anything new?
Just check.
Because you're going to be notified. You're going to be notified as soon as you log into your reader.
It's really
Isn't it cool?
very cool.
Okay.
Because you can just go on, scroll down, and pick and choose what you need to research at the time.
Exactly. And I'm already setting you up for your tasks when it comes to when we start talking about creating traffic and your daily duties of what you're going to be doing, which is, and you don't want to necessarily limit yourself to these 15 or 20 or whatever.
No,
this is just a starter.
Totally. And I saw that as I was doing it. I was like, oh, okay, I understand the exercise as being something that's going to be continuous. You know,
absolutely.
I'm always
this is going to be like a recurring daily task. You're going to check blogs, because here's what I want you to think about, okay? Right, you went to some of the blog posts I got, right? You saw people were leaving comments, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so people are talking, and this
I did my homework.
The thing, I'm just checking up. Hey, I'm a teacher, okay? I gotta, school's in session here, all right? No, but seriously though, it was more, my follow-up there was more not to check to see you did your homework, but it was mainly the fact that I wanted to solidify the fact that people are going to be talking, and especially about this topic with kids. Yeah. It's very hot with the ladies, you know? They're just, with the ladies, their fervor about this stuff is like at peak with their child. You know, it's
and
like
that percentage of dads that are out there being active in their child's life. I'm just putting that out there.
It's that there are some special ones out there. All right. But hey, classically, we're out making the bacon and bringing it home. So, it's the mom usually has more of an active role.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, so basically, what's going to happen is, let's say, for instance, and I want you to think about this strategically, is that as soon as someone on your list of Google Reader blogs posts something, is it to your advantage to come in and comment and be one of the, the 15th or 20th commenter, or the first one?
The first one.
Exactly. So obviously, you come in, you see a blog, you're going to want to check it right away, visit the blog, see what you can say to comment that has something to do tangible to responding to the content or substance of the post. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously going to be automatically approved. But see, here's what's going to happen over time, right? For one, when you comment and you're the first one, you're going to get more traffic to your site, period.
Right.
Okay, make sense?
Totally.
Okay, so that's why the Google Reader, so you can, boom, see it, go there, respond,
back to
bang.
Google Reader, see the next one.
Right, finish all that, and then you're on to your next task.
Right.
Okay? But you're doing this in such a way where people begin to, what happens when you go to a recurring place that you go out in public to, and you keep going over and over and over?
Oh, yeah.
People start knowing who Zach is, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well, the same thing happens here. This is like a public meeting ground, except it's online.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Zach again, giving us some wonderful insight up into the psyche of the child.
Yeah.
Or something, whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Is that you begin to be a public figure.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens? What happens is people begin, since they know you, they've come to know and expect wonderful things from you. Stop getting red.
Yeah.
They start expecting wonderful things from you.
Right.
They begin to trust you.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's then the buying decision online is all a matter of trust.
Yeah.
Do I trust this? See, that's what someone's coming when they come to a site. Do I trust this, guy whose mug is on, pictures up there?
Yeah.
And right now, you guys don't even have a personal representative. They're just cartoon figures.
Right.
Right.
And
it's not SpongeBob SquarePants. It has automatic brand recognition.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, sorry, I need to get some. Some water. Yeah, keep the mouth.
Going. Oh, radio silence.
So no kidding. Oh my God!
Oh no!
That's where the editing software comes in. Anyways, so you see how that kind of it builds over time.
Yeah.
Whereas you are just a site out there, you're now like Zach the Authority.
Yeah. Yeah, which is wild. I mean, it's just, I'm
Which
laughing because it's like, wow, really?
Yeah, I mean.
Really, yeah.
But really, yeah. But see, the thing is you begin to be an authority figure on something where people are looking to, because other people are going about their lives and they're doing their own thing in their own profession.
Right.
So they're going to defer to someone on a topic they're not necessarily an authority on, and you want to be that authority to them, because then other authority figures start pointing you out as an authority figure, and you start getting mentions on other blogs. Mm-hmm. And what do you think that does to a site that gets 10,000 visitors a day or 10,000 visitors a month? That gets you a bunch of traffic over.
Right.
Okay, so I think I made the point, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Cool. We need to move on because I could sit here and talk about this stuff all day.
I know. Well, it's fascinating. So
yeah, but I just wanted you to think long term. This is where we're ultimately going to go to, and all these things are laying bricks for you to be able to, start your recurring tasks.
Right.
Where you could do your marketing aside from your marketing manager we talked about.
Right.
Okay. So we're done with all this stuff.
Okay.
And like I was saying, all the stuff you've already done, like profiling your visitor and all that stuff, is going to work into the copy that you're going to be writing. Mm-hmm. Make sense?
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if we didn't really touch on it, but the empathy.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
The empathy map.
Yeah, which I thought was really helpful too.
Right, and that was the link I did not include last time, and basically, so basically, it's basically the empathy map is, and actually I've got, let's see, it's not Innovative Games, I'm trying to see, here it is, Go GameStorm. So this is it, gogamestorm.com, !P equals 870, and this is basically talks about creating an empathy map. Actually, it's not it. Actually, let me see. I've got it in my Digo. See, this is why it's nice. Nice to have your Digo.
Oh, Digo.
Oh, Digo. Yeah, where's my library? There we go, my library. So we go here, and I know how to find this. It's under Chaperone, and then it is right here. Okay, so this is the one, and here's the empathy map.
Yeah.
And it's actually gogamestorm.com / !P equals 42, and this is basically what you used. We talked about creating that profile, and this is what actually really, I think this one helped you probably better than that other article.
It actually did, yeah. I mean, the other article, it definitely got me on the right track, but it was a
starter.
Well, what I liked about this is it gave you a visual map.
Right.
You know,
which is right here. This
yeah,
one.
even though I'm not the greatest artist in the world, like, you know, drawing, it's still, you know, you still look at it and you have this mental picture of who you're trying to reach.
Right, exactly. And that's the important thing. And all that stuff taps into when you start writing about, you know, your copy and your product.
Right.
You remember we talked about you're going to be writing to someone on the other end.
Right.
It's like having someone in your house chatting over coffee in your living room and making it real easy talk.
Right. Yeah.
So this really allows you to be able to connect to that person better. So you have a visual of who that person is on the other side. So you're not talking to a child.
Right.
You're talking to an adult who's going to be your customer that's going to buy this stuff for their child.
Right. Cool.
So, which now makes more sense not to have that states in caps up there at the top. You know, it's like, does the parent really care about that stuff?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, they do in a way, but it's not going to
focus.
But is that going to communicate exactly what their child's going to, how their child's going to benefit from this stuff?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have to surmise it by playing that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. So we're going to go now to the actual site that we had created. You and I talked over. I asked you to look over some
Templates.
WordPress themes. That's what they call them, is themes.
Themes, yeah.
And then we took that theme and we overlaid it, and we came up with this as the new site.
Right.
And as you can see, it's kind of got, you know, it's kind of nice and bright and cheery and stuff, and it's pretty much similar to the Musical Stew site. We tried to keep the same theme going.
Right.
But we had a few more elements, and I wanted to talk about those real quick, and then we're going to talk about the copy. So as you can see, I mean, we kind of took some of the brown out here, which is not, as far as I'm concerned, it's kind of like a, you know, it's a dreary kind of, you know, it doesn't punch things up.
No, this is brighter. I like the.
It's brighter, livelier.
The pink with the logo there.
Right. Red speaks passion as far as I'm concerned, so that's good. And you had some red here.
Yeah.
But you can see what we did is we tried to carry over the same sort of, you know, the same navigation.
Right.
But we kind of added in the blog and the contact. Well, you have the contact, but we actually have a nice contact form instead of you guys that had just, you know, an image there. You now have where someone can just type it right into the page.
Right.
And there's a captcha at the bottom so you don't get a bunch of spam.
Which is great because it's instant access to contacting us.
Exactly.
It's not where the last site it was just there's the email address, go to it.
Right. Exactly.
We're taking out the work.
Yeah, exactly. You're not keeping them on the site.
Right.
So we really didn't make too much over as far as that, and you see here that I've started kind of, you know, as you can see here, I put music that makes it fun for kids to learn. That was my little byline that I created just to put it in there and get it started. But we'll definitely be able to replace it with your byline in there. But as you can see, we've got now, you know, a site that's easily more social.
Right.
You know, they can like your stuff right from here, even though they can like this the video right from here. I don't understand what's going on with some of the icons here aren't loading well.
Right.
But anyways, not a big deal. And what we did is we kind of eliminated the footer stuff because that is going to be something that'll be incorporated within the navigation up here.
Right.
And so we really need to, you and I will go over how we're going to create the different sections because we're going to eliminate like the music store. Okay, we don't really need that. You're going to have like, you know, an ordering page or something like that. You know, you know, get musical stew or something like that. You know, something that's, you know, getting them to take action or whatever.
Okay, great.
So we talked about also, you know, we're most likely going to remove this video. We're going to cut it down to like 20 seconds and give them a sample.
Right.
but it's going to go down later down into the page here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and you know, as you are connecting with your, you know, your empathy map person, right?
Right. Right.
So, and then the videos will probably, I guess these are more videos. Probably those are gonna be. We can have these as sort of. We'll see what we're gonna do.
Right.
We gotta work on basically getting the copy up on this side before we take it live over here.
Right.
Okay, and the music store, which is going to be basically your order page.
Right.
So that's basically the makeover in a nutshell. And obviously we've got work to do, and that's what we're going to talk about right now is sort of your outline for your copy.
Okay.
So let me pull up the task for session 4. And we're going to run through this. So as I was saying, you're going to go through and basically sort of just create a rough draft.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, talking to your empathy map person,
Right.
who you've created in your mind.
Right.
So you know. So you're going to create some copy. You know, and don't worry about this. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Is like, you know, we talked about this is very loose conversation. You're basically kind of getting the person connected with you emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
getting related to you, and then trying to convey what the benefits are going to be of how we talked about what's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to address what the problem may be with them.
Right.
And I think, did your empathy map talk about what their problem is?
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Okay.
Well, you know, yeah, it was through, you know, you it was great. You put a name to your person,
Right.
and then you put what their job is, and then through that you were able to kind of map out their life. You know, what they say, what they see when they wake up in the morning, what they do, and then you get into what they feel, and through those actions, then you go for what they want.
Right.
And yeah, and you think about what they may be, you know, hearing and thinking. You know,
Exactly.
Also.
So that's kind of, that's basically you kind of, it's like them being in the room with you, and you're just kind of addressing those things, and, you know, it's stuff you want to bring up where they can just be going, you know, they're nodding their head. Yeah, uh-huh.
Right. Oh,
Yeah. Oh, Zach, I really can relate to that. You know, that's kind of the approach you want to take.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, obviously you want to, you know, first thing is, we talked about this before. What's the thing that gets your attention when you go through the line at the supermarket and you see the Inquirer? What's it that gets your attention? The headline.
The headline, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So your headline is basically the attention getter. So that's why you want a headline, because you want to basically, everyone's in a channel. Just like, you know, right now you're in my channel here recording this thing. So if someone wanted to come in right now and get your attention, they would have to do something, right?
Right.
You know, they come in and they make themselves, you know, they're, Zach, I need your attention real quick, you know, or something. Zach, the house is burning down.
Right.
They've now interrupted you from what we're doing here, right? And that's what you want to do, is you want to break whatever they're doing. You want to stop what they're doing at that time and pay attention to what you have to say.
Okay.
So you have to do that in a way that's going to get, you know, what is the ultimate promise of what you're going to give them in this visit. That's basically what the headline is.
All right.
So headline, get their attention by conveying what the ultimate promise is they're going to receive in their visit here at your site. Okay? And then 2, you know, I think it's really important. I usually use it. And that's kind of get a picture of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have a little snapshot of you. You know, you can even take it. You can take it on your iPhone and just send it. Right, especially with your new haircut now. Anyways, okay, so you want to kind of address them, you know, and so the first thing you want to kind of get across is, you know, what's why they should pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a parent of a 7-year-old, like I kind of started, you know, I just did this as a sample, this is what it's going to look like. As a parent to a 7-year-old, I know how difficult it can be when you just don't see your child becoming when you just don't see your child becoming stuck or not progressing. Obviously, there's a typo in there. When you just see your child becoming stuck or not progressing the way you would like them to,
right.
Addressing a problem right up front.
Right.
Yeah, I have the same issue. You know. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So basically, what copy is all about is basically getting that person to consume that bite of information
mm-hmm.
and wanting them to go to the next bite.
Right.
So they take little bites, okay? And you notice here how I've spaced out. This is not like Grammar 101.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to break every rule in the book.
Okay.
You could have like one word as a sentence.
Okay.
And your English teacher would kill you,
yeah.
You know? And I had to, and I'm telling you, this is something I had to do myself. I had to break myself of every single grammar rule to be able to write like this.
Okay.
Because before I was sitting there and I was so conscious about the words and the order and the grammar and all this stuff, you can't do that on this because that will keep you, as you're sitting there trying to edit your thoughts, you'll never get out what you're supposed to actually get out, which is the authentic you. That you, right. You know, like you would be sitting there talking to them.
Right, yeah.
So I actually have, I want you to do something, preparation,
mm-hmm.
read article called Write Like You Speak, Not As You Think.
Mm.
Okay? So this is actually an article that I wrote. Write like you speak, not as you. You see, it actually comes up on Google's instant thing. So this is my article right at the top.
Okay.
So you'll just go straight there, and then it will.
What's that video?
It's a video of the Diet Pepsi Max. Remember the commercial where they went, you know, but it's about, you know, getting someone's attention and not boring them to death. And that's the problem, is that people write so academically.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like a textbook.
Right.
Don't do it.
Right. I got you.
Don't do it. You're murdering your visitors' eardrums, their eyes, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Yeah. So what were you going to say?
No, I was just good. No,
okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay. So you're going to come here, and then it'll say continue reading. You'll go down there, and you'll go to the actual page. And you're going to see it's actually, that's the one where the guy he was getting married, and he was yawning.
It's making me want to yawn.
Yeah. Anyways, so as you can see, this is kind of a long article, but it is very insightful and will get you thinking about all this stuff.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
It's actually sort of like a mini book.
It is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's one of your tasks. So let's go back to where we're. Oh, there we go. Okay. So why should they pay attention? Address an issue, an important issue. And then 3 is going to be, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
Their child, you know, developing, not getting past a certain thing, potty training, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it could be something like, you know, does your child have any one of these things? And then you're going to list like each one.
Mm-hmm.
You could list, and this is, I'm not saying this is how you can do it, but this is one of the ways you can. You know, does your child have any one of these things going on right now? And you're going to take every potential issue that each and every song could address,
mm-hmm. Okay.
and you put it down in bullet form.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is look at one of them,
right,
where they go, yeah, that's, you know, because you're asking, does your child have any one of these?
Right.
And if it does, you need to continue reading how you can solve the problem.
Right.
So once you've got what's the problem, present the solution. Okay, that's where musical stew comes in.
Right.
Okay, So if you want your child, I'd like to introduce you to what I did,
Yeah.
So while you're in talking about what's the problem, convey this in a way that you tell your story or someone else's.
Okay.
Right? Makes sense? We were
Yeah.
talking about this before. Present the solution. And then we talked about, remember, testimonials, other people
Which I have quite a few.
having
So
the
great.
same experience or solving, how the music changed their
Right.
child's behavior or whatever it is. Okay? I'm just trying to think through here. Sorry. Then I want you to bring in some benefits. Okay? List the benefits in a bullet form of what their child will receive from this.
Okay.
So, example. Confidence amongst their peers.
Right. Coping skills.
Ability to think, I'm just trying to think,
Right.
ability to deal with life's challenges. Like
Right.
your
Yeah.
your motto
The
is
tagline.
basically
Yeah.
right.
Okay.
Not feel ashamed, because we're talking about a bedwetter or something.
Right.
Blah blah blah. So you want to get your things in there. And then we talked about this. Remember, very very important. List each song and the essence of what topic it covers.
Great.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because remember, we talked about the fact that you're just right now conveying states and capitals.
Right.
It's way more than that.
Right. Absolutely.
This is not
Way
just
more. Yeah.
this is not just education. This is about life lessons
Right.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 8 is going to be guarantee. I'll copy and paste in here the guarantee that we have over at nichebot.
Mm-hmm.
And you can rewrite yours accordingly. Okay? So, actually the guarantee's not in here, sorry. Yeah, thanks for congratulating us. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Okay. The keyboard's just not acting the way I want it to. Okay. So we come here to the pricing thing, and here it is, basically. So, at the top it's going to be, 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee or whatever it may be. Guarantee. There you go. Okay. So claim your trial membership today, blah, blah, blah. You just conform it to whatever musical stew.
Right.
You're going to rewrite this. Rewrite for your own guarantee.
Okay.
And like I said, don't worry about it. Don't judge yourself. Just do what comes naturally.
Okay.
Because I'll be able to help you form it and correct whatever areas. And we talked about. I think I brought this up to you about Joe Sugarman. He was the guy that sold like millions of blue blockers.
Mm-hmm.
And great marketing guy. And what he tries to do is, and I want you to think about this, is, you want to kind of keep the momentum going through the whole, process of what you're writing, so you want to keep going, you want to have that feeling through it. So we'll take out any type of lulls, but just keep going, but I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep, what Joe says is you want to have this slippery slope for your person to go straight down and all the way through the, purchase.
Okay.
So basically, if you can imagine, your visitor gets on the slide and it's coated really well with, like olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to slip all the way down very, very fluidly, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just imagine that as you're going down, you're talking about all this stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And it's risk-free and da-da-da-da.
Right.
And then basically you're going to, call to action. Now, my bad. Bonus time. If you purchase the album today, you'll get the States and Capitals video $37 value
Right.
with your purchase. So,
yeah.
You got your bonus, right?
Can I do $19.99?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I just, you always see that on like the...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but this, you're going to see, I use sevens.
Oh, okay.
It's sevens are like, one, people associate luck with sevens.
Seven, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I use, exactly. No, it's just, a lucky number.
Yeah.
My lucky number is number 7. Yeah,
Okay.
It's just, sevens just...
Interesting. Okay.
It's a marketing thing.
Okay.
So you're going to put your bonus, bonus time, put your bonus in. You could describe it, give it some life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The most important thing here is you want to build value.
Right.
Okay? It took us, 100 man hours and over $5,000 to produce this video. And we could easily charge $47. And you could say, hey, we charge $47. You could have you could have this video separately sells, but you can get it now today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
The more you associate real value, now all of a sudden, this isn't a matter of, do I give up $12.99 for this? Is it really going to be worth it? Now all of a sudden, they're getting this $12.99 value plus a $37 or $47 value, and now it's no longer $12.99. It's now $13 plus what? $47, $37. Now it's a $50 thing for $12.99.
Right.
Is it going to be a much easier decision for them?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Now it's not going to be a single song sale.
Right.
They could get the single song.
The album. Yeah.
Yeah. And see, we're not even almost like gearing them towards the single
the thing is
song.
That, you could buy the single songs if you want, but if you want to buy the whole album, you get this perk.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Okay. So we've got bonus time. So describe it.
Sorry.
Give it value. Okay. And then call to action.
Right.
Now is the time, to
enrich your child's
take
life.
control of your child's confidence. What was it you said? Enrich your
child's
life. Build that special bond
What we talk
between them. Yeah, and see, you want to up here somewhere. We talked about present the solution. What's the problem? Could be not spending as much time with your child as well. That could be an outside issue. This, this will, well, that's not really a good place to bring it up, but we could bring it up later on down the line. Present the solution, mention great way to bond with your child.
Right.
This is not your average child-only song, but it's something you can sing along to as well. Remember, we wanted to get that, incorporate that. So I'm trying to get all this in there because I don't want you to have to, I want you to have it all there with you.
Right.
Basically. So I'm building this and not just giving you just this little tiny little outline, one thought, and then you're going to go, oh, God, just like I kind of did you with the Digo situation. I should have wrote that down, like, this is the tool you want to get, this is the tool you know what I mean. Okay.
It's okay.
All right. So, and then you have your call to action down at the bottom. Build that special bond between them, blah, blah, blah. But like I say, I want you to take a look, like right here. We're going to go back to the home page here. But if you see how remember I talked about the one, let's read through this real quick. And I know you got to go. It goes, I'm getting goosebumps as we speak. It happens to me every time I think about it. What is it you say? Well, it's the exact blueprint to doubling your traffic year after year that I'm about to reveal to you.
Uh-huh.
So do I have your attention?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to know what you're going to reveal. Yeah.
But before we get
it out, man.
And then I do what's called the Sigurniak effect.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's like, what? What's that?
Okay.
And then I go, but before we get on to that.
Oh, right.
So what I'm doing is what they do with you on the commercials.
Right.
They're about to reveal who the bachelorette's going to be, and then they go,
right.
We'll find out right after this.
Yeah.
So now I'm breaking something. I've got your interest, and I go, wait, just hang on just a second.
Uh-huh.
So now I've got you in this loop where you have to find that out. But first I'm going to have you listen to this.
Right.
But before you get onto that, please forgive my manners. I just don't want to be rude. Rude about what? My feathers would be somewhat ruffled if you forgot to introduce me to anyone else that may contribute to my online success. Mm. So without further ado, introducing nichebot's data partners that will have a hand in helping you accomplish all that you will. So in a way, I'm kind of like bragging, boasting, but I'm not, and saying, here are the people that are going to help you. And there's Google in there, and there's Yahoo, and some of these people some of these providers you would even go, and you go, wow, these people are going to help me out too?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm getting their confidence in that way. So, and in fact, we highly appreciate all our data partners as they've been an ingredient of my own success, which we'll get to in just a moment. So, and you see these are paragraphs, dude.
Right.
See, but do you see how easy this is to read?
Yeah.
Whereas even this right here,
right.
It's kind of the blocks. When someone sees blocks of text,
right.
It's like being in a history book. It's
yeah,
like going,
yeah.
I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired. That sort of thing. But you see how easy this is to read? Mm-hmm. Like from one line to the next. Let me ask you right up front so I know who I'm dealing with. Are you against or opposed to potentially tripling your organization's profits and doubling your website traffic right at this moment starting now? Well, all right. Now, if you sat there and told me some silly reason that your religion prevents you against doing that, I would respect that. now you see, now I'm trying to get the person, like, laughing. Okay, I get it, yeah. Okay, I would then tell you that if traffic and profits are of no concern to you, then this may not be right for you. This may not be the right site for you. So I'm like doing the whole pushback,
right,
which pulls them closer.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. I don't really care if you stay or go. It's sort of like a confidence thing.
Yeah.
Well,
your product's that good.
I don't really have to. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's one last thing I got to ask you. So you really think I'm out there in fairyland? Then I promise to stop with the 20 questions, okay? Great. Now humor me again. What if I also told you that you not only could double your website traffic, but likely quadruple the quality of the website visitors arriving at your organization's website, starting now?
Right.
Question mark. You'd think I was nuts, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you would probably be expecting me to hit you up for some lame $20,000 payment or some stupid blank like that, huh? You see what I'm saying? So,
right.
like,
It's
I'm trying to say,
conversational.
right, it's totally conversational. I'm also trying to, like, cover, like, you know, the cynic in all of us.
Right.
We're all cynical. We're all like, this guy's full of shit.
Yeah.
Excuse my language out there. You know,
Oops.
now this has got an R rating on this recording. I'm gonna have to make sure to tick that box on YouTube. Anyways, but you see what I'm saying? Very conversational, very light. I'm talking, you know, in real terms. This is not like I'm like, you know, you have to pull out your business dictionary at all.
Right.
A sixth grader could read this and get what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So that's really kind of the way you want it. And you have access to the site. You can go straight to insidenichebot.com and look at this to kind of get the feel of what I'm doing. And that's kind of the way you want to approach your writing, okay? So one of the things, what was I going to say? Now if you sat there and told me some story. So I'm trying to get them qualified. I'm trying to qualify them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, if you don't want to, you know, I'm trying to get them to go, yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to, you know, say, you know, I'm not going to ask for like $20,000 up front. So they're not like going, oh yeah, this guy's going to like, I'm trying to like,
what you mean, yeah.
Right. I'm trying to address that stuff right up front.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to like take those things, those doubts away. I'm removing them as I go through and writing this. Now, I don't expect you to be able to do that. That's something you and I can finesse together.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I want you to get the feel of this, so you can refer to this copy.
Great.
Anytime you want.
Okay,
all right. Okay, so we've got call to action is basically it. And that's basically, you know, order now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your child's worth it. People buy based on emotion, not logic, especially women.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they buy based on emotion.
Yeah.
You know, there should be no reminder that that this is risk-free. They don't stand to lose anything.
Right.
Because you've got that guarantee.
Yeah.
And see, that's to go, you know, you're not going to risk anything. You can ask for your money back, you know, and tell them, you know, if you don't like it, your child doesn't like it, just send me an email and, you know, or send back your CD and we'll refund you as soon as we get it back.
Right.
How, you know, and see, that is supposed to, basically what that does, all this stuff, this little formula here, is it literally, it takes all that edge away from all that conversation. Are they going to rip me off? Am I going to really get this? You know, do I trust this? You know, all that stuff, you're trying to like eliminate that.
Right.
And all the extra dialogue so that they just, it's easy to bring out your credit card and exchange their value of money for your value of, you know, what you've got for your content. You get what I'm saying?
Totally.
Okay, so that's basically the whole thing.
Great.
And
this is great. I mean,
I'm going to cover
potatoes right here.
Exactly. This is your offer, basically.
Yeah.
This is your offer, and it's almost like ridiculous to even bring up. You could buy a single song.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. By the time you're done,
it's like
ridiculous to get one song.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because they're going to have this states and capitals things, and they're going to be like leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else.
Right.
And they're going to have it aced down, something they will probably never forget for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Once they learn the song. Okay, and so basically that covers that. And then one of the things I want you to think about is, and this is a totally separate project, but you don't have to do much thinking on this, and that is, what type of, this is all about getting the opt-in. So what type of lessons or maybe some report or mini lessons can you send them and put a title to it? I.e., 5 ways for your child to improve blank. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is for people that are leaving. So let's say, for instance, we can go take a look at, remember I was telling you WordPress has ways for you to be able to put in plugins and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this plugin of WP subscribers. So let me go to a sample page real quick. Where was the sample page? Okay, so let's say your customer doesn't buy. Actually, let me go to pop-up. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to an example here. Okay. So here's the thing. So someone comes to your page, right? You could have like a pop-up thing like this. Oops. So you could have a pop-up thing like this. Get a free sample of states and capitals, whatever. Okay. So the whole point of an opt-in is remember I was saying a lot of people don't. Yeah, actually, this has stuff in it.
Oh, okay.
It has stuff that got wet and needed to. Anyways, so let's say people, like I said, most people aren't going to buy.
Right.
98% people leave, whatever. You're going to maybe get like a 1 or 2% conversion on your thing. Oh, is it?
It's creeping towards the keyboard.
Gotcha.
We spilled something in the studio here.
We have a mess. The fire alarm didn't go off. Darn it. Okay. I will rip some of this napkin off and put that there. There we go. Okay. All right. Now we won't have a stage 4 fire with jumping on the microphone and blowing up the whole system and ruining this recording.
Right.
Anyways, okay. So let's say 98% of the people end up leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How can you try to catch some of those before they leave? Give them a sample, give them a taste test, give them some lessons that can help them with their parenting, something like that. You can create anything. I mean, you could create and come up with some ideas. You can go research something. And remember, most people are into what they're doing. They're into their profession.
Right.
So they're going to defer to somebody else when it comes to parenting skills, an authority. Remember, we talked about the whole authority thing.
Right.
So what can you get them? What kind of content can you give them? Something, 5 lessons, a report, special report, a sample of the music, plus 5 lessons, whatever. Something that's of value that would allow them to drop their name and email address. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that you're able to follow up with them. And the whole reason for this is that it usually, scientifically, it's been proven that it takes at least 7 touches until someone starts to get to know who you are before they now know who you are as a person, right? They see you once in their inbox, they're going to be like, oh, he's just there, and they start reading, and they go, oh, wow, okay, cool. Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7th time, they now know who Zach is. They're like, they've incorporated you into their lives because they've looked at your emails 7 times.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now they're in a position, a lot of people will tip after the 7th time, where you get people that didn't buy the first time to buy on the 7th touch. Make sense?
Totally.
So now you can take your conversion rate from 2% or 1%, which is 1% is where you want to be at. Most people are at 1/10 of 1%. That's how poor the conversion rate is online, because they don't do this stuff. All the stuff you just did up to this point, profile, empathy map, competition research, all that shit. People don't do that.
No.
So what can you do to get people to give you their name, email address, so you can follow up with them, deliver on that content, and then you'll have a way to then keep asking for the order until they finally give in. It's attrition, sort of, like, wow, okay, this person really knows what they're talking about. A lot of people sometimes don't have time to go through the whole thing on the first go.
Right.
Now, they drop their name and email address, right? Now, so this is what would happen. They start leaving the page.
Mm-hmm.
See what happens? Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So basically it's like as soon as they cross the border of the line here,
Right.
it triggers the pop-up. Bam.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool? And this cannot be stopped by a it cannot be stopped by a pop-up blocker.
Really?
No, because this is basically just an overlay. It's sick.
Genius.
It's sick, I know. So this is where you would go, stop. Let me send you 5 lessons. And dude, you can even, what you could do right here is you can even have a video of you. It says, wait a minute, before you go, I want to make sure, before you end up going on your way, I want to be able to give you something, so you're not leaving empty-handed.
Right.
Just fill out your name and email address right below here, and I'll send you 5 awesome tips for helping your child go to bed better at night or whatever it may be.
Right.
You figure it out, and just, and we'll start right now, and blah, 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 and just drop your name and email address, blah. They do that, boom, you now got them on your list.
Right.
You now have a way to follow up with them and deliver the content.
Right.
And now become part of their lives, and then get a chance to now go from a 1% conversion rate to maybe 10 to 11 to 12%. Now you've literally, just from one little mechanism, you get what I'm doing here?
Yeah, absolutely.
You've now 10 times your profits from the same amount of traffic. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
That you would normally be leaving money on the table if you didn't do this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and this is how a lot of the times I built my mailing list, up to 45, 50,000 people.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This is how I did it, is by getting people to get on these things.
Right.
And then what I've done is through that conversational tone, and because I'm talking not to the whole group of subscribers of 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000 people, I'm talking to that one person.
Right.
And what's happened that's allowed me to do is I've been able to develop relationships with these people over years.
That's interesting. Wow.
So not only have they bought maybe my product, they've also bought other products that I've recommended that are in the same arena. So like, you could later on down the line, you'd start developing a thing. You could put automated messages in, like after they get the 7th message, your product, and then maybe 20 days into it, you go, there's this other great guy, Robert Training, that has this great product that really will boost your, that you say you've looked online, you've researched stuff, you've looked at the product, and now you can recommend a product.
Right.
Now you have a way to earn commissions off visitors that left your site on the first time.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the way to do it, and that's what's really important about this. Now I'm going to really have you up all night.
It's amazing how it just all interlinks,
Exactly.
It really is.
So now I'm going to really have you up till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, you are.
All right. And this is, okay, so now we've talked about this, so now you're going to look for 5 ways, you're going to look for some sort of content that you could deliver to your child, to your adult, your empathy map person, okay?
Right.
So, and then put a title to it. See above, okay?
Okay.
And those are your tasks. You're just going to be basically writing your copy and then find what kind of content you could deliver to a person, because might as well be capitalizing on the traffic that's coming in. Why do this opt-in stuff 6 months from now when you've already had 20,000 visitors come to your site that you can no longer get back?
Right.
See what I'm saying? Capture them as you got your offer, as they're coming to your site, as you're building traffic, you're building a list. And not only are you building a list, do you realize that this becomes an asset?
Oh, yeah.
You get 10,000 people, 10,000 passionate mothers.
Yeah.
That's an asset that you now becomes, if you sell your site, you now have an additional asset that besides the traffic to your site, you've got an an active list of you see what I'm saying? It becomes an asset. It's almost like you were talking about a movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Imagine people come to pay for the movie that you want to, the independent film you want to produce, and then have it shown on the internet, right?
Right.
Imagine you get 1 million visitors, okay?
Yeah.
50,000 end up paying, but you end up building a list of 200 or 300,000 people from that 1 million visitors.
Right.
Because you can get, on average, you could get what you want to be shooting for is a 30 to 40% opt-in rate. So every 3 to 4 out of every 10 people sign up for the list. So you have 1 million people come to the site. You want to have about 300,000 to 400,000 people on that list.
Mm-hmm.
So now, even though you only had 50,000 people buy your movie of that independent film, you now still have 300 to 400,000 people on a mailing list that you can now email and have them go to buy other movies or buy something that's related to that industry. You see what I'm saying?
Totally. Instead
of leaving that money on the table.
Yeah.
People don't even realize all the money they leave on the table with their websites and all the visitors. So that's what I want you thinking about. Then what we also want to do is be able to, the most important thing is, as you start developing your business, you're going to realize that you're not going to be able to handle all the support by email. And the fact is that once you have people emailing things in, then you want other people to take over because you're already so busy with doing your website promotions, talking to other sites that you're going to joint venture with, that they're going to recommend you, and you're giving them review products of the album and all that stuff.
Right.
You're working on promotions, producing more and more income and revenue to the site.
Right.
You're not going to have much time for the support. You're going to divvy that up to somebody else to take care of refunds, this, that, and the other.
Okay, great.
So now people are sending stuff to an email address. That's great, but do you want everyone gaining access to that email? Or say you have multiple people. You're not going to be able to have multiple people. Who knows who's taking care of this email and that email? And some emails in there aren't going to be related to customer support. So now they got to go find them, and they got to find out where they are. So that's why you have an online help desk. And what you can do is, like I have here with Digital Wet Paint, which is the web division, is now here on the side, we have on the contact page, we have here a way for them to get submit this, and when they submit it, it creates a ticket on the back end of Digital Wet Paint inside the WordPress. Remember we talked about the fact that you can give people create a username and password for users. Well, that could be like, Sarah, who's taking care of customer support, and Wendy, who's taking care of customer support. Now they can work from their homes. You're not creating any liability on your property and having to worry about sexual harassment or anything like that.
Right.
And they're logging into here from their own computer and taking care of customer support.
Wow.
And it's all centralized, and now there's no email to handle because this application, the support desk in the background, takes care of all the incoming email.
Okay.
It filters it, and now the customer or the visitor gets a ticket number, support number, so it now keeps you completely, it keeps you, it's not responsible, I want accountability.
Okay.
It keeps you accountable. It keeps everyone accountable because now, if someone says, I sent you guys a refund request and blah, 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 and you go, well, could you give us your support ticket number?
Right.
I don't have a support. Then you couldn't have asked for a refund, sir.
Right.
I'm sorry. See, now you've got accountability.
Right.
And now if you were wrong and someone didn't take care of that thing, you can now go, I'm sorry, sir, we have it here. It keeps everyone accountable, and you actually can tell who's doing their job.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you want to make sure this support desk is going to be a part of your system.
Okay.
So it's completely integrated so you don't have just people sending you emails to this thing. Because I'll tell you, that's going to get real old real fast.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then you got to go in and see, is there a response to that email? And now that email, 7 days later, is pushed to like page 3 or 4 of Gmail, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So on that note, we're pretty much done. We covered everything we wanted to, opt-in list, support, and the copy, and how the sort of how we're making over the site.
Right.
And we'll get more into that as, you know, you got the copy ready, and we're going to know what the navigation is going to turn out like.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. That'll end the session, and we'll see you guys next week.